Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Supertease. If you don't know who I am a multi-rank 1 Resto Druid. And I felt like today I should make a guide on updating all you fellow Druid players out there on what you should be expecting with Resto Druid moving into Legion. Obviously, the pre-patch just hit. That was pretty exciting, but the gameplay between pre-patch and endgame arena in Legion is actually quite drastic. So we'll go through it step by step. First off, we'll be taking a quick look at the talents. So actually a lot of these talents are new or changed somewhat. So on the level 15 row we have Prosperity. Now what Prosperity does is it makes Swiftmend have 2 charges and reduces its cooldown by 5 seconds. Sounds pretty crazy. That's because it is. I would argue that this is the strongest talent amongst the 3 on this row, but for the sake of going through it, Cenarian Ward. Nothing really changed, still a 30-second cooldown burst heal. Might be situationally useful, however Prosperity is just a consistent way of healing. It seems to be stronger overall. Then moving over into Abundance. For each rejuvenation you have active, the cast time of your healing touch is reduced by 10%, and the critical effect chance of regrowth is increased by 10%. Now regrowth already has a high crit chance on itself, however Abundance in combination with one of the honor talents can be pretty powerful, and I'll talk about that as we get there. But overall, if you're looking for kind of the cookie cutter Resto Druid build, you just made a Druid, you want to try it out right away, you don't want to think about it, Prosperity is going to be your strongest option. Now moving into the level 30 window, this one could have a lot of debate as well. Now, a lot of you healers out there probably have already found out, from playing on the beta at least, that it's very hard to get away from melee DPS. They have a lot of gap closers or teleports. It can be very challenging. And in some cases, that mobility attrition race, you're not going to be able to win it. So I've found that Renewal actually ends up being a bit stronger than Displacer Beast. You can use Renewal while you're in bear form, tanking those melee on yourself. If you really expect to be trained or you're having a hard time surviving, I suggest changing it up. Take Renewal for a game or two, see if it helps you survive through that burst. Other than that, obviously, Displacer Beast hasn't changed. 30-second cooldown blink, teleporting you 20 yards with a little bit of a sprint. Still your standard mobility, so if you think you're not going to be attacked or you're still comfortable playing with Displacer Beast, go ahead, feel free to keep taking Displacer Beast. And then Wild Charge, of course, nothing changed from the previous expansion. Still has its creative usages where you can jump to a partner up a Z-axis or root a warrior with the bear form charge. It's definitely one of the riskier options. Well, it is the riskiest option on this row, so I don't really recommend it for new Resto Druids. Overall, I think you would be more successful with Renewal or Displacer Beast. Again, that is up to you. Now level 45, this is the Affinity tier. This is something that has been talked a lot about for Druids, and this one, the Balance Affinity. You gain an extra 5 yards on all your spells. Now this is important because glyphs have been removed. A lot of Druid players might remember the Cyclone glyph that increased its range by 5 yards. Now that's gone. So Cyclone has a base yardage of 20 yards. It's very small. So taking the Balance Affinity will grant you access to that glyph again. It also gives you Moon Conform, so you have a bit of extra armor, you could do a little bit of damage. This is a talent you're most likely going to take maybe while you're leveling, if you want to level as Resto. It's definitely extremely challenging to use in Arena, especially with the pace of the game, the strength of melee DPS at the moment. It's hard to actually find the time to cast. And Star Surge for this instance is not instant cast, so you have to cast it. And if you get interrupted on Star Surge, you're interrupted on all of your schools of magic, which means you can't heal. So it's very risky. Definitely could have some fun with it, but overall, in terms of the competitiveness of Arena, I wouldn't necessarily suggest it, especially if you're starting out. Now to the Feral Affinity, the baseline granting you 15% movement speed. That can be very useful. Then a plethora of cat abilities. Most importantly to note is you would have Rake Stun. So everyone remembers Feral Druids with Incarnation Rake Stun. We don't have that. You can only Rake Stun from stealth, but it's an extra stun. And CC has been reduced quite a lot in this expansion, so getting that one extra stun might be pretty useful to you, especially if you're playing a composition that doesn't have a lot of stuns. So could be a creative talent to try and test out. Overall, I would say that the greatest weakness of Resto Druid at the moment is just surviving when you're being attacked. So I built my talent tree and playstyle to keep me alive. So that then leads us to the Guardian Affinity, which just passively will reduce all damage by 10%. That by itself pretty much auto locks this talent in for me. And then you also get some abilities in bear form. You get Mangle, Thrash, the new ability Iron Fur, which as you get Rage you can activate and increases your armor by 75%. It's very strong against melee. Frenzied Regeneration is a lot different in this expansion. In Warlords of Draenor you kind of just pressed it for a quick heal. Now in this expansion, Frenzied Regeneration is kind of like a healing time bomb in a sense. It will heal you for 50% of all the damage taken in the last 5 seconds over 3 seconds. So by itself it does heal for quite a lot. However, if you've been attacked, then it heals for even more. You can see it's sticking for 24,000 like that. It's a very powerful heal. So overall, Guardian Affinity is a very accessible talent for druids trying to survive in arena or PvP in general. Also, there's a lot of extra cool things you can do in bear form now. You can cast Moonfire in bear form. You can use a lot of your other new abilities in bear form, such as your artifact weapon or some of the honor talents. So you can actually do quite a lot from bear form. So this talent just benefits that even further. So that's why I would give it the auto lock-in if you're looking for that cookie cutter Resto Druid build. Now the level 60 build, we've got Mighty Bash. Nothing changed here. Still a very powerful melee range stun on a 50-second cooldown. Mass Entanglement. Nothing changed here from the previous expansion. 30-second cooldown, instant cast, AoE root. Important to note that our bark skins no longer root targets that attack us, so we don't have access to any instant roots unless we go tree form. So this could be an option if you're playing a composition with a lot of stuns. This is the one tier of talents that you might be flipping around. There might not be necessarily the best decision for all cases. I would suggest Bash, but if you're thinking, hey, we've got too many stuns, I want to try a root out, feel free, try Mass Entanglement. And then Typhoon, nothing changed here, still a 30-second cooldown knockback, and knockbacks can be very strong. However, with the amount of gap closers available to melee DPS, it kind of gets outweighed. You're going to knock Demon Hunter away, he's going to bounce back in your face, and you're going to kind of feel like, I don't know if that was really worth it. Whereas Mass Entanglement would just root him down in place and he wouldn't be able to move. So it's still debatable. We're in beta, still testing things out. But overall, what your expectations should be, I would suggest going for Mighty Bash on this tier. Overall, though, nothing new. Now to the level 75, we have Soul of the Forest. There's nothing changed for this. However, if we look at the level 15 talents, what do we have? We have 2 Swiftmen. So Swiftmen can benefit our Rejuvenations, our Wild Growths, or our Overgrowth, which is a new honor talent ability. And that can increase our healing a lot. However, in this expansion, a lot of classes have this new mechanic with Purge where they're able to remove all of your hots at once. So if you commit 2 Swiftmens to get 2 Rejuvenations on yourself with Soul of the Forest, you're going to lose both of those in one Purge, and it feels very bad, man. When that happens. Overall, I think Soul of the Forest is a much more bursty based choice on this talent tier. So if you're finding a composition that you know is going to single out one guy, I would say it is very strong, especially when you pair it with the new honor talent Overgrowth. So you'd press Swiftmend, Overgrowth. That will benefit all of the Rejuvenations and your Wild Growth. So very powerful. However, like I said, it can be immediately purged off by some classes, specifically the Mage's talent Kleptomania. So if you're fighting mages, this might not be the best. Incarnation Tree of Life. It's not necessarily my playstyle decision. I don't enjoy the cooldown itself, locking yourself in a tree form, forcing yourself to heal. However, if you are struggling to survive through maybe the first 30 seconds of an arena match, especially because it's a new expansion, you might not know how to expect the burst if you're just starting out on a Resto Druid. This cooldown will, for the most part, get you through at least the first minute of a game, so it'll allow you to see how the game plays out. But overall, I do not think competitively at a high level this one will keep up with the other 2 options, which then leads it into the Cultivation talent, which is whenever Rejuvenation heals a target below 60%, we get an extra hot called Cultivation, healing for 30,000 over 6 seconds. This is very powerful when healing through spread pressure, so if all 3 of your members on your team are dying at the same time, this will grant you an extra hot. And like I said, if that gets purged off, it's not a big deal. You apply Rejuvenation again, you get the Cultivation again. You don't lose out on a huge investment as you would with Soul of the Forest. So I enjoy playing with Cultivation a lot right now. Things can change. We're still in beta, but this is some of like the new cool stuff you should expect, and maybe you want to try out when you have access to the game. Now the level 90 tier, this one is kind of auto-locked into Germination, but for the sake of it, we'll go through it. Each target healed by efflorescence. They might be saying, what is efflorescence? Well, efflorescence is just wild mushroom. It's the same thing. Put it on the ground. It's a green circle. It heals everyone inside. Don't be too afraid of that. It's an okay heal as an AoE heal, but when we get into Germination, you'll see why you really don't take it. Now, Tranquility reduced the cooldown by 60 seconds. You might be thinking, wow, Tranquility was pretty strong. In Legion, Tranquility is not that powerful. In fact, in a lot of situations, you do not want to use it for power healing. You use it more because you want to stay out of line of sight of any CC or swapping, and you use it kind of as just an extra heal that you can use behind a pillar. It doesn't heal very much right now, at least in the beta. Again, things can change, which then leads us to Germination, which used to be the 100 tier talent last expansion, but now it's on the 90 tier, which allows you to have 2 rejuvenations. I like more hots. You should like more hots, which is why Germination at this point is pretty much an auto lock-in for the talents for Restoration. Then we're moving into the 100 tree. This is another one where there's not too much debate. Moment of Clarity. Moment of Clarity now affects the next 3 regrowths. It could save you some mana to power through. It seems like an okay talent, but we didn't really even take it that much in the last expansion. And then when we move to Stonebark, you'll see why. This reduces the cooldown of Ironbark by 30 seconds. If we look at Ironbark, it's actually a 1.5 minute cooldown. So this brings it back down to a minute. And then it also provides Ironbark a 20% boost on all of our hots. Did someone say 20% more healing on all of our hots every minute? That seems much more appealing than 3 free regrowths. So Stonebark definitely is kind of our auto lock-in talent here on the 100 row. Then we look at Flourish. It's a 1 minute cooldown, and it basically extends all of our hots on the target by 6 seconds. It's not really needed. You're spamming hots most of the game, especially when you pair that with one of the honor talents, Overgrowth, which allows you to apply all of your hots at once. Flourish loses its kind of taste. I mean, in a PvE environment where you don't have Overgrowth, this definitely could be pretty powerful. However, in a PvP environment, Stonebark is clearly the deciding talent that you should be taking. This covers our video here for the general overview of our basic talents and for the Resto Druid in Legion. And in the next video, I will be reviewing the Honor talents. So stay tuned. I hope this information was helpful to you, and I hope you have a great time playing Resto Druid in Legion. Thank you for tuning in.